Let's now see how to read data from these sheets. You can create data in global sheet when you wanted to share the data for multiple actions. That's global. So a common data for all the actions, you can keep it in global sheet. Otherwise, you don't need to maintain any data in global sheet. You can maintain the data in action sheets. That's the suggested one. So now I don't want to run through global sheet, so I can simply delete it. I'm running only through action sheets. Okay, let us see this. So just observe how I'm going to delete the data as well. So simply deleting data like this is not going to work. It's not going to work, right? So let us see whether it works. So if it works, that's fine, because earlier it was not working. So that's why what we usually do is we specify deletion like this, edit and then delete it. So this is what we are going to do to delete the entire row of data. So to get confirmation, what we can do is we can go to file and then settings, run. Here we can see run from data. So it's not giving data row 3 kind of thing. So that means it works. Okay, the deletion is working in the new versions. Now, when it comes to action sheet, I'm giving some data like, so here I'm specifying from to something like that. Okay, I will specify from and then I will specify to. So I'm going to give some data. So for that, I will open flight application. Whatever the data is given there, I will be using the same data here as well. Now, so here I have London, Paris. Okay, I'm going to use London, and this is case sensitive. Follow that in Paris. So I will travel from London to Paris and Paris to London. Okay, so two rows of data I have given. Next, this is static data. Earlier, it executed twice with the same data. But now, I'm going to read the data from Excel sheet. That means the data table to expert view by specifying data table of. So data table is an internal object of UFT, comma, from which sheet you wanted to read it. So you need to specify that sheet. So I wanted sheet read from uh, action one. Okay, you can specify the same sheet name. In fact, okay, it is going to be from book flight. So I don't want to specify the exact sheet name. So in that case, you can specify DT local sheet. So this is an internal variable. It works. There is also one more option here. You can go to keyword view, and from keyword view, you can specify the sheet name, everything. So you can go to keyword view, and from here, select the step. So I wanted to specify for London. So click on that London and specify the parameter. So this is called parameterization. So from where you wanted to specify. So here you can specify data table from where you wanted to specify. I wanted to specify from to, right? Okay, to, then this is a global local data table. So that's it. Just keep it. So now come to uh, editor and then observe what it is generated, and it is generated to and DT local sheet. So you can do that. That's what I'm saying. Clear. So now every time it is going to take data from data sheet and then it executes with that particular data. So you don't need to worry about loops here, because the loops will be taken care by the data sheet itself. How many rows of data is given here, those many times the action is going to execute, and how many rows of data is given here, those many times the test is going to execute. So you can read data from any sheet, from any sheet, from any action. Okay, that's possible. So all you have to specify is action name. DT local sheet means the local to that particular action it is going to read. Otherwise, you can even give, let's say, action name as well. Let me specify that. Okay, let's say I'm giving name here, and I will give the name first time Sudhakar, and I'm giving QTP second time. Okay, let's see that. So when it comes to this, I will specify data table of I'll specify name as well, and comma. When it comes to sheet ID, you can specify any sheet ID here. Let's say I wanted to get the name of that sheet. That is book flight is the name of the sheet. That means that's the action name as well. So the action name and sheet name must be same. So instead of specifying book flight or anything, you can even specify environment of action name, so that I'm specifying the name of the action. It is going to get the current action name, right? Otherwise, environment of action name, this is one way of doing it. Environment of action name, so it is going to read it. Otherwise, you can do one more thing. You can directly specify book flight. This is case sensitive. Book flight. Now let's see. So first time it should use Sudhakar. Second time it should use QDB. Let's execute. By default, it's going to run from the beginning. Make sure that I'm closing the application. Run it. Execute it. And you can even see that what is the data it used. And this is called runtime data table, which will be there in result folder.